Second last race of the night, and Talequa is your favourite, heavily backed as well. You can see here in the Roll the Dice syndication colours, $2.70 where Marcus first went up, $2.10 at 9 o'clock this morning, and now $1.75 chances. The Price Kent combination teams up with the one and only Jamie Carr. Jenkins is only 3 from 30 overall. Well, punters think that might be 4 from 31 tonight. 7 into 6, then into 440, just getting out of fraction now to 450. We've spoken about horses for courses tonight. In the previous race, they ran second and third. The race before that, they ran first and second. Well, this is your horses for courses horse in this race, the Free Running Cloud. He'll go straight to the front, and he's $9.50 into $7. Don't forget, if you're having a bet at Moonee Valley tomorrow night, we just saw the great Rob Heathcote talk about Rothfire. Well, you'll get your money back for running second and third in races 1 to 4, up to $50 back in bonus bets.
This mounting yard is brought to you by the Racing.com app. Download for free today.
Benchmark 64 contest over the 1,600 metres here. Second last race from Pakenham. We start with the one in Legionnaire, who gets the 2 kilo claim with thanks to Sheridan Clark. He can run a placing, but he's only 2 from 30, unfortunately, and this is his first time on the synthetic surface as well.
And he's got to be some query, I suppose, at the end of the 1,600 metres, but he's getting every spoil. It's part of the broadcast agreement that Shane O'Sullivan gets a mention when he straps a horse, and there he is leading Legionnaire around, and what a beautiful, strong horse he is, and he'll give a great sight riding the speed with the claim. Just think the last little bit of the 1,600's a query.
What about Plymouth Road, the 10-year-old number 2? We'll get back to him, though, because he's not in the yard as yet, I'm told. So we go to the 3 in Running Cloud. Diesel and Dust, we thought, might have been part of the reason to get a synthetic meeting. Jolting maybe another. Running Cloud would have had to have been a third.
Yeah, I think Nathan Dunn was part of that lobby group, there's no doubt. Look, he's nice and fit for recent racing. He'll settle on the speed. Aaron Lynch is a real go-to rider for Nathan Dunn. Obviously got a great link through jumps racing and a very similar mindset. And I don't think Hannah Ridgely did anything wrong last time, but I just think the horse probably goes better for a strong senior rider, and Aaron Lynch has won on him previously.
Big Darrell not in the yard as yet, so let's go to the 5 Jenkins. And look, Phil Stokes gave this horse a little bit of a push earlier.
No, I'm not surprised. I think he's right in the mix in this race. He maps to get a reasonable run. He didn't get the right run last start. The race just got away from him a bit at Sale, but he found the line well behind Tavi Storm, and yeah, I think he has to be right in the mix here.
Nathan Dunn's got 2 runners here. The second of them is the 6 in the Lap of the Gods, and look, he mightn't have the win record of Running Cloud on the synthetic, but he has placed on 6 occasions.
Look, I think he's going well, and sometimes you look at a race and you try and map it and you think, well, this horse will lob into a nice spot. Just circumstances were that every horse inside him was going at the same speed last start. He ended 3 wide from barrier 3 and didn't get any closer. It's not a real disadvantage here, but he was just working in the run. He's had a freshen up since then. He likes racing here. Another reason why Nathan Dunn would have been keen to have this meeting put on. He hasn't won here, but he's been placed 6 of 7.
Talequa the favourite, not in the yard as yet. The 8 is a scratching, so let's go to the 9, Moola. Third up from a spell. The blinkers go on again. The bubble cheeker comes off.
You'd think getting fitter with the benefit of those 2 recent runs can be a little bit slowly away, and blinkers going on can sometimes even be a bit problematic in the barriers for horses to get a clean getaway. But if she did get a clean getaway, that would enhance her chances. I think her form is a little bit better than it reads on paper, and a fair bit of that is to do with the fact she's back in the field for being slowly away.
Matt Cartwright already with the winner tonight. Frenzy Loon, second run of the mile for the preparation.
Hard and fit now, you would think, and I don't think going up any further in trip would be a positive. I think around about this distance range is probably the right trip for Frenzy Loon, who probably needs to take it to another level, but at least capable of rolling forward and getting into a spot in the first 3 or 4.
But Tess Breeze has done plenty of racing. In fact, almost half his career's been on the synthetic surface.
Primarily in 58 grade of racing, so we're taking on a stronger assignment here, but a key gear change of the blinkers going on with a little gap between runs to put some spring back in the step. Quite a strong galloper with a good frame, as we can see there on the screen. Does rise in grade from those runs in predominantly 58 grade.
Anything But joins the new stable here, back from a couple of runs at 2,000.
Wouldn't think you'd lack anything in residual fitness, although, you know, a few weeks between runs, but definitely some residual fitness from those runs over longer ground. Little freshen up. Does need to improve, and another horse that had been racing predominantly in easier company.
We missed a couple in the run through, so let's go and catch up with those. The first of them is the 2 in Plymouth Road.
He's also can mix his form. If he's going to win a race, it's generally when he's at big odds. So if you like him, you wait for him to get out to $50 plus, and that fits the brief today. He's a hard horse to catch. He can mix his form, but he was fair to the line last start, but he would need to improve significantly on his most recent runs.
We also missed one of the local gallopers in Big Darrell, and look, he's a winner on the synthetic surface, and well, he's also been runner-up 7 occasions of his 12 on the synthetic.
He likes it here, and he's been to the Ballarat synthetic track and won as well, so he doesn't mind synthetic tracks at all, but specifically he likes racing here on his home track. He rises in grade on his most recent runs in 58 grade, but he's going as well as he can in that grade, and you would think can be competitive in this slightly tougher opposition. Lockie overall maintains that 3 kilo claim.
Let's get our first look at the favourite here. It is the 7 Telek, where we missed her on the run through. She's a mare by Tarzino. Jamie Carr takes the ride. 2 Cranben jump outs to ready for the return. We've had notification from stewards that with the wide barrier, the mare's expected to be settling further back tonight.
There's no disadvantage to be looming into the race, perhaps a little bit off the speed, and particularly with cover, and we'll leave that to Jamie to find the right part of the track for Talakwa. The jump outs have been okay without really being tested, but kicking off at a suitable distance range. If there's a horse in this race that's going to progress on well and truly beyond this grade, you would think it's Talakwa who has that touch of class, and what she's done in her 3 runs today is say that she's a horse with a bright future and a bit of upside. She's been well in the market at her 3 runs today.
Is that a good segue for your top selection, Warren?
I think she has to be. You're just hoping that she's forward enough and she can blend into the race at the right time, but she looks the one to beat to me, with Fairy Spirit coming out to take on the Stud Stakes at the Valley on Friday night. I think that would have been the challenge was for Talakwa to take on Fairy Spirit from a market perspective, and now she's the standout. In the lap of the gods, Running Cloud and Jenkins, I think, are all in the mix if there's any chink in the armour of Talakwa. 7, 6, 3, 5.
So there's a look at Warren Huntley's numbers. Let's check in with our race caller, Matt Hill. He too is going the favourite way home. Matty's got the 7 on top here in the second last, ahead of 3 Running Cloud, who we know loves it here. 5 Jenkins and 4 Big Darrell. 7, 3, 5 and 4.
Yeah, good on you, Benny. Talekwa's the only horse they really want. Jenkins is nice and sort of firm around that 460, 480 mark, but Talakwa, as I said, 210 at 9 o'clock this morning into $1.65. Now, that's a really, really good push since 9 o'clock this morning. Jenkins, as I said, holding its own in the marketplace, particularly for a horse that's only 3 from 30 overall. The rest are pretty much on the drift since 9 o'clock this morning. So Talekwa's the hard favourite, guys. As Warren said, if there's one horse in a race that can go on to bigger and better things, it does look the one.
Michael Kent Jr. just making his way over here after having a good chat with the Roll the Dice crew there about, I'm going to pronounce it Talakwa, but I think I might have heard you pronounce it differently, Michael. Could you correct me on the pronunciation?
Yeah, Talakwa, we say it.
Let's go with Talakwa. How is she first up?
Yeah, she's very bright and well. She looks terrific. She's a lovely filly by Tarzino, of course. We like him a lot as a stallion. She's a mile first up, and she's had 2 jump outs, not 3, so we have just told the stewards that we're going to ride her to finish off tonight from that outside draw at the mile first up. So we'll need things to work out for us, but the track's playing beautifully. They can lead, they can run on, and she'll get her chance with a good Jamie Carr ride.
We were commenting that she's probably the horse in this race with the class to go on to significantly better races if things go right for her in the future. Is that how you see her relative to the opposition?
Yeah, I think so. She's a classy mare, and we've always thought she might be metropolitan class. She doesn't like wet tracks at all, and that's what happened at her last start, so hence why we're here tonight. But just don't underestimate being first up the mile. There's a lot of horses here that, whilst they might be inferior, they're fitter than us.
How do you assess the chances of the big heist new to the stable in the next?
Well, last time he was here, he bucked out of the gate, so I'll be being careful tonight saddling him up. But he's a nice horse. He trialled well a few times. Decent little race, I thought. He's a good each-way chance in a competitive race.
Just touch on a couple of key runners in feature races over the weekend. How's Jacquino heading into the Golden Rose?
Look, he couldn't be better. He's sort of set to peak into this run. He's had a beautiful 2 weeks up in Sydney, had a trial. He's thrived. Horses always stay with Gerald Ryan. We're very lucky, and he's really done well up there. Nice draw for him. He can jump okay, but the first few strides he's slow to muster, so hopefully holds a spot. And I think today the rain was not too bad in Sydney, which was a big tick for us. The wetter it was, the worse our chances, and I think we were lucky there.
how's On Thunderstruck going into what looks another intriguing and tactical race, the Underwood, on Sunday?
Yeah, it will be, won't it? Going to be a great race. He couldn't be better. He's just had a perfect prep. Really good gallop yesterday. He went to the beach this morning. The horse is in perfect condition. We'll have a bit of space this time, so a different sort of setup for us, but he's going great.
Exciting times ahead. Let's hope it kicks off with a winner here.
Thank you very much, Warren.
Good to get the insight there from Michael Ken Jr. and they certainly look to have the leading player here in race number 7, and she's holding her mark too at $1.70. Jenkins getting a little bit of support, tightens up into $4.20 as these runners make their way towards the start. But Warren, one thing I will say about the price in Kent stable, I was there on Tuesday to have a chat with Mick and took a walk through the stables, and every second or third door there is just a quality horse popping over its head. They're top level performers. They have got a quality stable there, haven't they? They've
built a really good team, haven't they? In terms of drafting the last couple of years, they've done well, and they do call a spade a spade. You get that from Mick Price and from Michael Ken Jr. there as a short price favourite. He's saying, look, don't underestimate the fact that she is first up at 1,600 metres, and she hasn't got that hard race fit edge that she might need if it becomes a real stoush.
It was interesting to hear him mention too, just the 2 jump outs, not 3. So it sounds like generally a horse kicking off at this trip, they might give them the 3 jump outs, which is good to remember with Price Kent runners moving forward too.
And look, this is not grand final day, so you'd think race-wise and fitness-wise she'd improve with racing, and her targets will hopefully be in significantly better races down the track, and she might have the class to dispose of this opposition. But, there's times when you'll get that advice from Mick or Michael that, look, we'd be surprised if this horse doesn't win, but it wasn't quite that level of confidence here.
This horse now touching $1.80. Do you feel that's a fair price for it?
Look, hard to assess because, fitness is a real key, but I do think she's got a class edge. So, somewhere around about that $1.80 with the fact that Fairy Prince is not here, or Fairy Spirit is not here, is probably a fair price.
These runners are starting to load away, so we hand it up to Matty for his call of race number 7.
So, Ben, it's been one of those nights where we've seen some nice up-and-comers win earlier on, and we've got this mare Taliqua at her 4th race start, $1.85 on official price, $1.80 the tote. Running Cloud coming forward. Now, Running Cloud goes in. So getting close over there, Legionnaire joins the line. Anything but about to come along with Jenkins, who has had good support. Jenkins into $3.90 now on official price after opening up at $4.80. Placed at sale last start and is fit this gelding. So good money for the second favourite, Jenkins. Plymouth Road goes forward. Moolah about to come along. Taliqua in the roll, the Dice Silks, Big Darrell and Frenzy Loon, the final 3. So what a big weekend we have in Melbourne. Of course, Benalla Cup, Coleraine Cup tomorrow, the Valley with the Moir, Mornington on Saturday, and then that magnificent Underwood at Sandown on Sunday. Weather looks as though it's going to look after us on Sunday as well. Last couple getting set, Frenzy Loon with Matt Cartwright, who's ridden a winner tonight, goes in, and Taliqua to complete it for the running of the 7th event. This is the Reach Gymnastics benchmark 64 at 1,600. Taliqua goes in, ready to run. Set now. And they're racing. Legionnaire jumped away well. Moolah's missed the start by 5, and Plymouth Road goes back to last of the main group. Legionnaire jumped quickly and led from Frenzy Loon, and then in the lap of the Gods, who's moving up around the outside, 3 and 4 deep. Big Darrell's in that group with Jenkins and Running Cloud the inside, pulling hard. They're a length and a half for Test Breeze, and then Anything But and Taliqua. Then came second last Plymouth Road, and 2 lengths to Moolah at the end. They continue their journey along the back towards the 1,000 marker, and Frenzy Loon took it up for Matty Cartwright by 3/4 of a length. In the lap of the Gods, second. Third is Legionnaire on the paint. Big Darrell is out deeper, and Jenkins between horses. Running Cloud 6th the rails, then for Test Breeze. Anything But the inside, Taliqua with 2 behind her, and they are Plymouth Road and also Moolah. Off the back section, Frenzy Loon reaches the 700 marker by a length in the lap of the Gods. Legionnaire is third, then Big Darrell and Jenkins, and they were followed by Running Cloud. Next in the field for Tess Breeze, Talik was just starting to inch forward now, and then well back in the field, Anything But, with also Plymouth Road and Moolah Moolah. Frenzy Loons had it pretty easy in front, kicks around the corner at the 300 metres. Legionnaire's looking for a gap on the inside. Jenkins is coming on. Where's Talika? It's the widest starting to come, but Jenkins has hit the front. 200 metres to go. Jenkins from Legionnaire. Talika down the middle is still coming home hard with Running Cloud. Still Jenkins, 100 to go from Talika. Jenkins has stolen a march, holds Talika. Jenkins won it. Second favourite, beat the favourite. Jenkins and Neck Talika. Running Cloud third, and they were followed in fourth by Vitesse Breeze. A gap Legionnaire, Plymouth Road in the lap of the gods. Behind those horses then was on the fence. We had Frenzy Loon, Big Darrell, Anything But, and Moolah Moolah. Jenkins heavily supported into 350 in the end with books, and has been too strong at 380 and 150 from Talika, who gave Jenkins a start on the point of the corner at $1.04, and Running Cloud, who was over towards the inside, had to get a gap and did, and has run on well in finishing in third money. Vitesse Breeze looks prominent for fourth. 5, 7, 3 and 11. 5, 7, 3 and 11. Jenkins, who was knocking on the door after a good run at Sale last start. He was the fit one, this 7-year-old by Piero, who sires a couple of winners tonight. And Jenkins, with another 50 metres or so, a few more strides, Talika would have made it interesting, was certainly chiselling away at that margin, but Jenkins has held Talika with Running Cloud in third. With the winner, Jenkins, trained by Philip Stokes, who had a winner earlier on, an impressive winner with General Barca. So what makes that a double at his home track, scoring by a half length officially, with 2 lengths between second and third. 5, 7, 3 and 11. 5, 7, 3 and 11. Fifth goes to Legionnaire. Sixth to Plymouth Road. Gallop 1:37.98, a half length by 2 lengths on race number 7 tonight. So we've heard from Philip Stokes earlier. Let's hear from Michael Harrison from the stable, is now down with Ben.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Matty, and I'm sure Phil's happy watching at home. I did a pre-race interview with him a little bit earlier in the night, and he gave a little push for this horse. Were you keen?
Yeah, he's been flying lately. He's been unlucky his last 2 runs, just the way the race panned out, but it all went his way tonight.
Fourth up from a very lengthy spell, 12 months on the sidelines. Tell us the issues this horse had to overcome.
I'm not sure on all the issues. He had a lot of hind-end issues, but the break's done him well. He's come back. We haven't had any issues with him at all since we've had him. And he's been a really good horse to train for us, really. He's just progressed.
Put the writing on the wall last start at Sale, and Zach happy to stick with tonight.
Yeah, look, Zach, he does a lot of work with our stable, and probably doesn't get enough credit for the work he does, but he's put a lot of time into this horse, and yeah, it's great to see him get a result like this tonight.
Good to get a result as well. 789 days out of the winner's stall. A lot of that's been on the sidelines, but for the team at Regal, Bloodstock?
Yeah, well, we actually met Mark earlier this year at the Queensland Stars at the Magic Millions, and we've actually formed quite a good partnership now with a few horses we've got for him, with Regal coming out and winning last prep, and now Jenkins. We've got a lot of hope for a nice little colt he's got by Deep Field. But yeah, let's... great to have him on board, and hopefully we can continue the success.
Congratulations, Jenkins. He's going the right way about things this preparation. Good night for the stable.
Yeah, thank you.
Heavily supported and lobbed into a sweet spot, 480 and a 350 through the official prices, and Jenkins just travelling nicely just in behind the speed. Talika now's coming wide in the roll the dice colours, the red and blue colours. To have any chance of getting into the race, Jamie Carr had to get going, and no horse was going well enough to actually take Talika anyway. Had to come to the outside of Vitesse Breeze and basically do it all on her own. So she's run very well. She was easy in the market. She SP'd $1.90, and she's run as well as the race shape would allow her, having to get back in the field from that wider draw to run on. Jenkins was in the sweet spot. Running Clouds run well, run his usual honest race, and the Test Breeze battled on okay into that next position. Here's the head on. We can see the second widest runner is Talika in the middle of the screen. Zach Spain now going full bore on the ultimate winner in Jenkins, who was well supported, had a nice run, just stalking the speed, peeled out at the right time, and Talika had a lot of ground to make up. There'll be some good late sectionals relative to the race and perhaps relative to the meeting with Talika, who's found the line well first up at 1600 metres. horse no doubt will improve fitness-wise with the benefit of that run. Zach Spain's had a busy day. He'll make his way over towards Ben Spall shortly as he takes the saddle off.
Yeah, most certainly. He's had a busy day, Warren, but he's had a successful day as well. A winner at Moe, and he's able to round out tonight with the winner too. So 2 winners from multiple venues, and yeah, he's riding well. I agree, Warren. The second horse goes into the black book, but all credit goes the way of Jenkins. And Zach, you rode this horse last start. Did you feel he was knocking on the door?
Yeah, he was. He deserved that. He's a little bit unlucky last start. I thought if I could have had momentum on him, he probably wins. So I was really keen to just use him a little bit out the barriers, just so I could hold a bit more forward position on him. And we just had a lovely run throughout, and nearly hit the front a bit too early on him. He hasn't hit the front in a while, and he just floated around a little bit. But he's a horse that I think now that he's got that win under his belt, he can keep progressing.
Second horse was coming fast. Were you always confident you were going to hold on?
Yeah, I was. Don't get me wrong, when I had a cheeky little look, I seen that it was Jamie flying down the outside, but my bloke just done enough to hold it off, and yeah, as I said, hopefully he can progress now.
Busy day for you, riding at both venues, but a winner at both, so the hard work's been rewarded.
Yeah, it makes the trip a lot, you know, it makes it worth it for sure. You know, you got to work hard this time of year, so happy to do both meetings when you got good rides at both venues.
Hard work's paying off, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
There we go. Zach Spain gets the job done on Jenkins. There's still one to come at Pakenham. All that on the other side.